Rumors are that allegedly Kenya is fighting back hard against her alleged suspension and possible firing. What's going on? What's the plan? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly behind the scenes, Kenya is fighting hard against her alleged suspension and possible firing at Real Housewives of Atlanta. What's going on and what's the plan? I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more. And here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Kenya is ready to fight for her Real Housewives of Atlanta Peach. The insider explained, Kenya is a fighter and would not be bullied by bloggers, producers, or the network. Kenya feels as if she's being thrown to the wolves over something that has been condoned by the network allegedly for years. Kenya's team is ready and are confident that she once again will be vindicated by all of this drama. Another source said Kenya's plan is simple and powerful. Allegedly, Kenya will use one of her lawsuits to prove the blatant racial biases from the network on how they treat talent of color versus their white counterparts. And many people behind the scenes feel it will work. The source continued, the network can't be seen as condoning alleged adult content revenge, but they can no longer be seen as racially insensitive as well. Checkmate, ended the source. Allegedly, another source said, Kenya has a battery pack in her back and is energized to save and protect her image and her bag. And she's not finished yet, said the source. Allegedly, she's ready to launch 3 additional lawsuits that will most certainly have production caving and letting her keep her peach for season 16. Now, kinfolk, this is some new information that's coming out about the big debacle of Kenya and filming season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta and Brittany Eddy and all the alleged adult content revenge situations. And to be perfectly honest with you, kinfolk, a lot of this drama is coming out now, and a lot of these rumors are beginning to leak because I really do feel a lot of people who were behind these rumors are beginning to backtrack because they're seeing how detrimental they are to season 16's filming and success. But with that being said, the first part of this rumor I want to talk about, and it has to do with the racial bias component that my sources are saying that Kenya is going to allegedly bring forth in one of her lawsuits. And it's this. You know, when you have this situation where there's a clear bias between the color of talent, the talent of color, and their white counterparts, it really shows you that production and the network really have fumbled this whole play of trying to protect the work environment and the mental health of their talent. Because and a lot what Kenya alluded to and what a lot of other fans have been talking about is the clear bias with, I guess the guy's name is Scandal with I don't even watch the show, but I know the show. Old girl, the bar show. Well, yeah, Rachel and them. What is the name of that guy? That goes to show how much I don't know about the show, but I know a lot more about the drama. And so Kenya has a point to where Scandal and how he, is that the guy's name? I don't even watch the show. I just know the drama, right? But anyway, Kenya was saying how she was commenting to another person's comment about how it was a clear bias because he allegedly had some revenge porn and leaked or shown without or recorded without the other person's consent. And Kenya kind of felt like it was the same thing. Now, is it technically? Somewhat. But was it done during filming? No. However, the clear bias is there. And when you have that clear bias, it really does, it's like completely deteriorates any argument that you are trying to protect the mental health of your talent. Because what about the mental health of the young lady who was allegedly recorded without her consent, right? So it's kind of like you don't care about her mental health, and you allegedly gave him a raise for helping to contribute to her deterioration of her mental health. You gave her a raise, but you allegedly give Kenya her suspension and potential walking papers. So that right there goes to show that there is a clear bias on how the talent of color are being treated versus their white counterparts. Now, the name of that show is really going to bother me until I can figure out what it is. And I know it's like when you get on camera, like your brain is only focused on one thing. And I bet if I wasn't in front of the camera, I could tell the name of that show. Like, I have never seen like one episode of it neither. All I know, Lisa Vanderpump Rules. That's it. I could have told you the name of that show like at the top of my head. Is that when you come in front of the camera and you like focus on your notes and you're focused on getting your message across, it just is crazy. But anyway, yes, so Vanderpump Rules. And so there's a clear bias when it comes to how that situation is being handled and how Kenya's situation is being handled, which goes to show you that this whole idea that they're doing an investigation to protect the mental health of their talent is complete BS. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor, it has to do with Kenya and her ability to really play this game of back and forth with the network and producers. And it's this. Now, my sources are saying, kinfolk, that Kenya, as we all know, is extremely smart. Kenya is always, at least from my sources are telling me, 2 or 3 steps ahead of production in any situation, any drama, whether it's from this season or previous seasons. That's how Kenya was so smart and able to outwit production when they gave her that first suspension for not sharing her marriage on camera. She just clearly went around them, went to the network, and the network was like, yes, bring Kenya back. You all be surprised at how much allegedly the network does not really know about the inner workings that are going on with these productions a lot of the times. That's what my sources are saying, because it's very weird that you have these shows, these franchises, especially Real Housewives franchises, that cause you all the most drama in the legal department, and the network not really have a clear pulse or a clear finger on like what is going on with these franchises, because they are causing the most drama, and it would be like it seems that they would want to keep their focus clearly on them. So Kenya's ability to outsmart the network and producers, I think it comes from the fact that allegedly the network really does not know a lot of what's going on in the inner workings of production. Now, it's a little tricky because my sources are saying that these decisions are coming from the network and not so much necessarily the production company, which does also create a situation for Kenya to where she really can't go around production now and go to the network, because now the network does not seem to be on her side when it comes to this particular situation. However, what we do know is that Kenya, again, from my sources are saying, is just very smart, and we know that. And I think that her lawyering up and getting her lawyers together and ready to fight this was the smartest thing to do while everything is so fresh. And my sources are saying that allegedly behind the scenes, a lot of people, especially bloggers and people who were in attendance to the event, are now backtracking on what they were saying and what they thought they saw. And so I think that when you put a lawyer into the mix and people having to figure out they have to go get their own lawyers to try to fight this, it really does make a lot of this drama kind of like dissipate. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this room I want to talk about has to do with where does production go now, knowing that the fact that Kenya is ready to fight for her peach tooth and nail. And it's this. I think that for production, they are now in a very weird, awkward position. And I think that the network is going to start shifting the blame now from Kenya to production. Now, how will production handle that? Now, with production, their hands are not clean. The network, again, they can keep their hands clean according to my sources because they don't have their finger on the pulse or on all the drama that's going on behind the scenes with these different productions. So it's able to keep them in their hands clean, out of the loop, and kind of oblivious to certain things, and always playing Monday morning quarterback, but nevertheless, it allows them to keep their hands clean. However, when it comes to the production company, it's not that simple. And their hands, from my sources are saying, allegedly are not clean in any of this drama or any drama that goes on behind the scenes with other housewife franchises, just not Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, in knowing that, I do think that the network probably will shift the blame to production once Kenya starts rolling out these lawsuits. Now, Kenya's in a very good negotiation place right now, because if the network does run scared away from this horrible PR nightmare that Kenya can cause by showing a clear bias, a clear racial bias, then it will be kicked back down to production. Production, seeing that the network make a move like that, it probably was signal to them that they're on their own. And they have two things they can do. They can either suspend Kenya and let her go and then have to deal with the lawsuit on their own, or they can take the smart route and say, you know what? It seems if the network doesn't want to touch this, and if the network, who has the power, the attorneys, and the ability to shape a narrative, if they don't want to touch this, then we shouldn't touch this neither, because we're a smaller entity. Let's just bring Kenya back and say, hey, it was a tap on the wrist. She knows she can't do all this type of carrying on any longer during filming, and Brittany Edie has accepted her apology, and they're trying to move on. That's the best situation and the best way to move from what my sources are saying for production to do in the next couple of weeks. Now, kinfolk, the last thing about this rumor, I definitely see this happening, and I think we all see this happening as well, even though a lot of people are saying it won't, but it's this. Kinfolk, Kenya is just too much of an integral part in filming of season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's my belief and the belief of my sources that she will ultimately be brought back. It will, of course, be a slap on the hand, say, hey, you can't do that anymore. But Kenya is such an integral part in the success of this franchise. We talked about earlier that they just really can't afford to lose her right now. And if you do lose Kenya right now, and you do find yourself having this moral compass that production wants to act like it has, then you run the risk of two things. You run the risk of allowing the franchise to be carried on the backs of Porsha and a whole bunch of newbies, or you run the risk of the show getting even more toxic and becoming a place where nobody really wants to film, and then you left with like boring content. Now, either way it goes, it's going to be a situation to where Kenya's absence is definitely going to be missed. And productions have to realize, or just have to decide, are they willing to take that risk? Because yes, what she did was wild, out of line, out of pocket, allegedly. Is it worth really getting rid of Kenya? Especially now that we're finding out that it really wasn't what people had said it was in the beginning. Now, when it comes to the Brittany Edie part, of course, you want to protect her mental health and want to make sure she's okay with her decision. And I do think that there are some addendums or, clauses in that contract in saying that they can't sue a fellow coworker or fellow castmate. So with that being said, I think this is one of those times where you have to sit Brittany down and say, hey, it was distasteful. We're going to edit it out as much as we can to save face. But you have to come and you have to work with Kenya, because this is now you all's new reality, and the fans deserve to see how you guys are going to work through it. Now, kinfolk, that's just my belief considering all of this information that's coming out about Kenya and her possible suspension and possible firing from Real Housewives of Atlanta. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Kenya should fight for her peach? Or do you think that the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise is just beyond repairing right now, and the best thing for Kenya to do is to bow out gracefully? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.